Brad Williams, Frugal Finance. We read it, we see it, but we don't practice it. That money that is redirected to places like Starbucks 3 to 5, maybe 8 times a week is expensive. Now, I'm not an advocate of Starbucks or any of these other places. I buy my coffee green. I buy it in very large sacks. The reason being is I'm only 60 miles from Oakland, California. And that's where a large percentage of coffee is imported. So I can buy it directly from wholesalers and then I roast it. That way, I don't have to deal with the markup and the sugar, the crap that is included in this coffee, which subsequently is making people extremely fat, unhealthy, and for the most part, you get this serious problem called diabetes, and it's a result of the crap that the Starbucks and the Peet's Coffee presents to you, in addition to how much you waste every year on this cup of sugar. How the overspending on coffee finally stopped. Far too much money went to coffee shops. What began as an occasional treat turned into a daily routine, totaling $20 to $30 every week. These weren't elaborate drinks, just a basic venti coffee, often unfinished. Various efforts to quit include brewing coffee at home, switching to tea, and even using a smart plug to automate the process. None of it worked. Eventually, a new approach made a difference. Instead of cutting corners, investing in tools that made the at-home coffee experience match the appeal of coffee visits turned things around. With about $50, roughly 2 weeks worth of coffee shop spending, the daily habit was finally replaced. A cold brew maker that feels luxurious. Coffee was important, but mornings were a struggle. Using a coffee maker earlier in the day wasn't realistic. A friend gifted a cold brew coffee maker with a fine mesh sieve and glass carafe. It keeps the coffee smooth and allowed brewing the night before. Cold brew became the preferred option. It required no morning prep, just pour and go. The convenience and appearance of the carafe made it easier to stick to the routine. A travel cup that adds enjoyment. The attachment wasn't just to the drink, it was to the ritual. Holding a large cup with a straw became part of the day. To replicate that feeling, a reusable travel cup made all the difference. A glitter-filled tumbler from a thrift store cost about $1. Held enough coffee for a commute, and I brought a sense of fun. The key is finding a cup that feels personal, sleek, simple, or quirky. So the habit of bringing coffee from home became automatic. A dishwasher-safe tumbler helps ensure regular use. A burr grinder for fresh coffee. Grinding beans at home brought unexpected improvements. Pre-grounded coffee loses flavor quickly as oil dissipates. A burr grinder offered control over coarseness and noticeably improved the taste of cold brew. The small manual grinder did the job well with minimal storage and cleanup needs. For those who prefer convenience, electric burr grinders work too. Grinding fresh is what makes the biggest difference. And by all means, spend a little money in terms of a grinder. Don't buy that crap by well-known groups. And I'm not going to name any names, and there's just a whole bunch of them. Step up, go to a medium recognized name. In other words, there are a lot of coffee grinders available out there. You can buy that mass-produced crap, or you can buy something more personalized, and it's going to cost you a little bit of money. But in terms of cleanup, in terms of its actual capacity, it'll make all the difference in the world. A swap that changes the flavor, chocolate milk. A tip learned from diner work, replace cream and sugar with chocolate milk. It adds a smooth sweetness and makes each cup feel like a treat. Again, it's self-defeating. If you spend the time and buy high quality coffee, spend a little bit more money, you don't need sugar, you don't need cream, and you don't need any of this other crap. A great, naturally dried Ethiopian Yergachefe will produce a chocolate berry taste that will never ever be repeated if you kill it with all the substitutes. You probably can go to the recognized names of Starbucks and the Peet's Coffee and ask for something specialized and sample it without substituting it with cream or sugar or vanilla this or any of the other crap, and you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised how good it is. Past attempts with almond milk and sugar-free syrups fell short. High-protein chocolate milk provided a richer flavor without artificial sweeteners. Over time, this made homemade coffee more enjoyable than anything from a shop. Again, you're just adding junk to something that you don't need to destroy. The savings are real. After these small adjustments, the urge for daily coffee shop visits disappeared. The homemade version became the preferred choice. The change wasn't about giving up coffee, but about making it better at home. The results? Hundreds of dollars saved annually without skipping the caffeine. Look, a lot of you are going to have a comment about my comments, and that's fine. I owned a coffee distribution company for a while. I sold green coffee. I visited all over the friggin' place to try to specialize in this area. There was no markup. There was no profitability in that sector, but the experience was great. Coffee is a privilege if you know what you're doing. Otherwise, if you go about your normal routine in buying the cheap crap off the shelf, well, you're going to be disappointed. Or if you buy the crap from the recognized coffee shops, again, it's mass produced. A huge percentage of the production will be Brazilian coffee, and that's low quality stuff. You want something really good. If you really want a treat, buy coffee from Yemen. Ethiopia is recognized, and if you really want to experiment, check out the African coffees. They're going to be a little bit different. A lot of sunflowery type characteristics. Maybe not for you, but perhaps someone else. And then you can never go wrong with Colombian coffee. It's just really good stuff. If you have any questions, if you have an opinion, comment. Brad Williams, Frugal Finance. Thanks for watching. Hope that helps. See you soon.